Ladies, listen closely. If you're a woman over 60, navigating the vibrant, sometimes tricky landscape of dating and relationships, this message is for you. We're about to confront 5 critical behaviors no man should ever exhibit, and why accepting them will inevitably lead to deep regret. This isn't just about finding love. It's about safeguarding your peace, honoring your wisdom, and ensuring your golden years truly shine with the respect and joy you profoundly deserve. Stay with me, because understanding these boundaries is key to a truly fulfilling second chapter. Women over 60. Dating after 60. Senior romance. It's not just a second chapter in your life's grand narrative. It's an entirely new book, complete with its own unique plot twists, compelling characters, and most importantly, a revised set of rules. Welcome to Dating Older Women, where we empower you to navigate this exciting phase with grace, confidence, and unwavering self-worth. I am so incredibly grateful to have you here, ready to embrace the journey. Today, I want to talk about 5 specific behaviors, 5 undeniable red flags that no woman over 60 should ever, under any circumstances, accept from a man. This holds true, no matter how charming he seems at first glance, no matter how lonely some nights may have felt, and no matter how much you yearn for companionship. Why? Because these aren't merely dating tips or suggestions for polite interaction. These are fundamental boundaries, non-negotiable lines in the sand, that ultimately mean the profound difference between living your golden years in peace and experiencing avoidable, heartbreaking pain. Something profound and beautiful changes deep inside us as we age. In our younger years, driven by inexperience, societal pressures, or perhaps just a desperate hope for love, we often found ourselves making endless excuses for blatant disrespect. We clung to the romanticized notion that our love, our patience, our unwavering belief could somehow soften a man's rough edges, transforming him into the partner we dreamed of. But after 60, the mathematical equation of life shifts dramatically. Time, that most precious and finite resource, becomes more valuable than ever before. Your energy, now finely tuned and discerning, is more limited, and you instinctively know where you want to invest it. At this magnificent stage of life, you simply cannot and should not afford to spend your cherished golden years trapped in relationships that slowly, subtly chip away at your spirit, eroding your hard-won peace. This truth rings especially clear if you've already walked through the fires of life. Whether it was the heartbreak of divorce, the profound grief of widowhood, or perhaps decades spent in relationships where you consistently gave far more than you ever received. Life after 60 should be an exhilarating journey of rediscovering your inherent worth, celebrating your resilience, and embracing your authentic self. It is unequivocally not a time to compromise your dignity again, all in the often misguided name of love or companionship. If you've ever found yourself questioning whether that gnawing feeling in your stomach is a genuine red flag, or if you're just being too sensitive or overthinking things, then this message, spoken from woman to woman, heart to heart, is specifically for you. Because there are certain behaviors, certain patterns of conduct, that no truly good man will ever exhibit. And, conversely, no wise woman, no woman who respects herself and understands her value, should ever tolerate them. Before we dive into these critical insights, please take a moment, tap that like button. It helps other amazing women like you find this vital information. And if you haven't already, Subscribe to Dating Older Women, where we consistently uncover the quiet, powerful truths of self-worth, the importance of unbreakable boundaries, and the kind of authentic, honoring love that genuinely celebrates and uplifts the magnificent woman you have become. So, let's begin this crucial conversation with the first, often quiet, but undeniable deal breaker you should never, ever ignore. Thing number 1. Never accept disrespect disguised as honesty. Did you know that in recent surveys, nearly 70% of women over 60 reported staying silent in past relationships simply to keep the peace? They did this not because they were unsure of their feelings or their worth, but because they were subtly, or sometimes overtly, made to question whether their hurt, their feelings, their very reactions were valid in the first place. This is a powerful, yet insidious, form of manipulation. It often begins subtly, with a man who carefully crafts phrases like, "Don't take it so personally," or "I'm just being honest, you know how I am." These seemingly innocent statements are verbal cloaks designed to hide sharp, cutting words within soft, disarming ones. In the landscape of dating after 60, this kind of hidden disrespect can be even more dangerous, more potent, precisely because it often comes wrapped in the appealing package of charm, worldly experience, and what initially appears to be directness. I vividly recall Helen, a vibrant woman from my local walking group. She possessed a truly sharp mind, a quick wit, and a smile that could light up a room. Helen had tragically lost her husband years earlier, and after a long period of healing, had finally dared to open her heart to the possibility of love again. She met a man through her book club. He was well-read, attentive, and genuinely funny. We all thought he was wonderful for her. But over time, his compliments started to subtly bend. He'd say things like, "You're lovely, even if you're not exactly petite anymore," or "You do ramble a little, but it's cute." On the surface, these remarks might sound harmless, even endearing to some. But the danger lies in the repetition, in the insidious way they chip away at your self-esteem, especially when you hear them again and again. Every time I noticed Helen shrink just a little, forcing a strained laugh to dismiss what clearly hurt her. She would sit a bit quieter at our lunches, and I'd often catch her fixing her hair or adjusting her clothes more often than she used to, as if trying to physically correct the perceived flaws he had pointed out. I literally saw the vibrant glow, that spark she had when she first met him, begin to fade. Not all at once, not with a dramatic flourish, but slowly, imperceptibly, like a lamp on a low, dying power setting. This is the insidious work of disrespect disguised as honesty. It doesn't burst in like a storm, causing immediate chaos. Instead, it seeps, slowly poisoning the well of your self-worth. It subtly teaches you to accept less, to diminish your own feelings, all while pretending that this erosion is simply love or truth. A truly good man, a man of integrity and genuine affection, does not use truth as a weapon. He does not speak in ways that bruise your spirit and then blame you for bleeding. Real honesty, the kind that builds trust and intimacy, makes you feel safe, heard, and understood, even when the truth itself might be uncomfortable. And for women over 60, especially those who are courageously learning to love and trust again after profound loss or prolonged loneliness, this fundamental distinction matters more than ever before. You have done the hard work of healing. You have come too far in your journey of self-discovery and resilience. There is no age, absolutely no age, at which you should have to explain or defend why your dignity, your feelings, and your inherent worth matter. After 60, you don't owe anyone your silence. Not for the sake of artificial peace, not for the comfort of companionship, and certainly not for a man who mistakenly believes that being harsh or critical is the same as being honest. Your peace is non-negotiable. Thing number 2. Never accept financial control disguised as help. Sometimes, the insidious control a man wields doesn't come through sharp words or subtle criticisms. It arrives through your wallet, through the delicate balance of your financial independence. They say that true love is fundamentally about trust, but when that trust becomes one-sided, when it becomes inexplicably tied to money, it ceases to be genuine trust. Instead, it transforms into control, often wearing a charming smile on its face. Among women over 60, this unfortunate dynamic happens far more frequently than we would like to openly admit. It often begins innocently enough. A man offers financial help, perhaps suggesting he take charge of managing joint expenses, or he might earnestly claim he's protecting you from the stress and complexities of financial decisions. These gestures can feel reassuring, even loving, especially if you've been managing finances alone for years. But beneath this seemingly helpful surface, a much more sinister dynamic begins to unfold. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, your financial clarity starts to blur. You might find yourself less involved in budgeting, less aware of where your money is going, or less empowered to make your own financial decisions. Little by little, you stop asking probing questions, perhaps out of politeness, not wanting to seem distrustful, or perhaps out of a growing fear of appearing ungrateful for his help. But here's the unvarnished truth. Real love, authentic partnership, never asks you to surrender your autonomy, especially your financial autonomy. The ancient Roman philosopher Seneca, a beacon of wisdom, once wrote, "A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver." If the underlying intention behind his financial help is actually about gaining power, about establishing control, rather than fostering true partnership and mutual respect, then it's not a genuine gift. It's a subtle, yet firm leash. Tragically, too many senior dating stories involve wise women, intelligent and capable, gradually handing over control of their finances simply because someone initially seemed stable, confident, or generously willing to take the reins. But your dignity, your independence, your hard-earned financial security, these do not come with hidden strings attached. And genuine generosity, if it is truly authentic, never comes at the profound cost of your voice, your ability to ask questions, or your unfettered access to your own life's resources. Financial control, in its initial stages, can indeed appear to be an act of kindness, a thoughtful gesture. But the true measure of a healthy financial dynamic in a relationship isn't about how much money is shared. It's fundamentally about whether you still possess an equal say in decisions, equal access to information, and equal respect for your financial independence. It is never, ever too late to learn the language of money. It is never too late to truly understand your financial rights. And it is never too late to draw clear, unyielding boundaries around what you have diligently built and what you profoundly value. Love may grow and flourish in the heart, but true security in a relationship flourishes in complete transparency and mutual respect. Let me ask you something, from my heart to yours. Have you ever witnessed money being used as a subtle, or not so subtle, way to influence, control, or even silence someone you deeply care about? If you feel comfortable sharing, please take a moment to share what you learned from that experience in the comments below. Your insight, your wisdom, could be the crucial wake-up call another woman desperately needs today. Because when it comes to senior romance, the most dangerous kind of silence is often the one that comes with a charming smile and a bank statement you can't see, or worse, can't fully understand. And remember, building financial literacy is a powerful act of self-care. For more resources on navigating finances, confidence, and relationships in your golden years, visit Dating Older Women, your trusted guide to empowering your best life. Chabo. Thing number 3, never accept isolation from your support network. Sometimes the subtle erosion of your life doesn't come from internal confusion or financial constraints. It happens when your cherished connections to others, your vital support network, slowly starts slipping away. That's precisely when the next quiet, yet deeply alarming, warning sign appears. It often begins with whispers, with seemingly affectionate statements like, "They don't really understand you like I do," or, the more possessive, "Why do you need anyone else when you have me?" In the realm of senior dating, especially for women over 60 who are actively seeking genuine connection and companionship, those words, at first, can sound incredibly romantic. They can feel validating, like you've finally found someone who truly gets you. But slowly, subtly, insidiously, those words begin to pull you away from the very people who have always kept you grounded, who have uplifted you, and who constitute your vital support system. I will never forget the heartbreaking story of my dear friend Marianne. Widowed in her early 60s, she was a woman of immense warmth and kindness. She met a man online who, initially, seemed to effortlessly bring a wave of much-needed joy back into her life. At first, all of us, her friends, were absolutely thrilled for her. We saw her light up again, a radiant spark returning to her eyes. But little by little, we started seeing less and less of her. She stopped coming to our beloved Sunday brunches, a cherished tradition. She didn't answer our calls as often as she used to. When we asked, she'd explain that he just needed more of her time, and she genuinely didn't want to disappoint him. A few months into their relationship, she said something during a rare phone call that sent a genuine chill down my spine. "He doesn't really like it when I talk to people from my past," she confided, her voice small. "He says it keeps me from being present." That was the moment I knew, with absolute certainty, that what was happening was not love. It was isolation. That's precisely how it happens. You, unknowingly at first, begin trimming down the vibrant edges of your life, making yourself smaller, quieter, and your world narrower, all to fit into someone else's carefully constructed frame. Your beloved friends begin to fade into the background. Your cherished hobbies and passions slowly disappear. Even your own voice, once strong and resonant, becomes quieter, less assertive. And for women over 60, particularly those who are rediscovering love after years spent in relentless caregiving roles or grappling with profound grief, this kind of subtle, insidious control can be incredibly difficult to spot. Why? Because it's wrapped in the intoxicating illusion of intense attention, devotion, and exclusivity. But true love, genuine connection, never asks you to disappear. Instead, it invites more of you to show up, to flourish, to bring your whole, authentic self to the relationship. It doesn't make your world smaller, confining you within its boundaries. It gently expands it, making abundant room for everything and everyone that genuinely matters to you. The ancient philosopher Epictetus once sagely observed, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." When a man actively discourages you from maintaining close ties to your family, your lifelong friends, your cherished church group, your sisterhood, that is not affection. That is a slow, calculated disconnection. And over time, it will inevitably lead to a dangerous, often debilitating kind of dependency. Senior romance should never, ever come at the profound cost of the community, the village, the cherished relationships that have shaped you, supported you, and celebrated you throughout your life. Think about it. Have you ever watched someone you care about slowly, tragically drift away from everything and everyone that once deeply mattered to them, all for the sake of a new love? It's a painful sight to behold, precisely because we instinctively know where that lonely path ultimately leads. That's why the people who truly care about you, who genuinely respect you, will eagerly want to meet your circle. They will respect your daughter's insightful opinion. They will genuinely want to shake hands with your oldest, dearest friend. They will make room in their life for your existing connections, not make endless excuses to keep you away from them. And if a man constantly makes you feel like it's us against the world, it's time to take a much closer, more critical look. He may not be strengthening your bond. He may be slowly, deliberately making himself your only world. To nurture your essential connections and avoid isolation, engage with the supportive community at Dating Older Women, where genuine relationships thrive. Thing number 4. Never accept emotional manipulation or guilt. The next quiet warning sign is even more insidious, more profoundly manipulative. It doesn't necessarily pull you away from others. Instead, it slowly, subtly pulls you away from yourself, eroding your inner peace and self-trust. Thing number 4. Never accept emotional manipulation or guilt. In extensive long-term studies on emotional well-being among women, those over 60 who reported feeling manipulated in relationships weren't always able to articulate exactly what had happened to them. They just consistently described feeling profoundly drained, perpetually confused, or simply not like themselves anymore. That's the insidious nature of guilt when used as a weapon. It doesn't arrive with the loud, confrontational force of an argument. Instead, it creeps in quietly, settling into your mind as self-doubt, slowly eroding your confidence and clarity. In the intricate landscape of senior dating, this particular brand of emotional manipulation often wears the deceptive mask of intense affection or profound vulnerability. It manifests in seemingly heartfelt phrases like, "I just miss you so much when you're not around," or the emotionally charged, "You're all I have in this world," or the subtly accusatory, "It just hurts me deeply when you put other people before me." At first, these words might resonate as deeply loving, as a desperate attempt for love to hold on to you, but soon, with growing discomfort, you begin to realize it's something else entirely. It's not love trying to hold on, it's love trying to take over. And for women over 60, especially those who have spent a lifetime embodying patterns of selfless caregiving, tending to the needs of family, children, or even aging parents, this emotional shift can be incredibly difficult to spot. You have spent years, decades even, instinctively tending to the emotional needs of others. So, when someone tugs at your heartstrings, when they play on your innate empathy, your immediate response is often one of ingrained generosity and care, not necessarily because you are weak, but precisely because you are profoundly kind and giving. I've come to think of guilt, especially manipulative guilt, like a persistent, insidious fog. It doesn't violently slam doors or cause dramatic chaos. It just quietly, persistently settles in, obscuring your vision, clouding your judgment, until one day you wake up and realize you can no longer see clearly. You find yourself apologizing for things that are unequivocally not your fault. You feel an inexplicable fear of asking for your own space, your own time, your own needs. You start questioning yourself, your motives, your sanity, but never them. One of the clearest, most undeniable signs of emotional manipulation through guilt is when you begin to feel profoundly guilty just for having legitimate needs. You feel bad for wanting alone time, for pursuing a hobby, for spending time with friends, or for simply prioritizing your own well-being. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wisely said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." But a manipulative man, driven by his own insecurities and desire for control, actively works to keep you emotionally unsteady, perpetually distracted, perpetually unsure, constantly off balance. He strategically counts on your deep-seated empathy, becoming your ultimate silence, your quiet compliance. But life after 60, this glorious chapter, should be the absolute opposite of that. It should be characterized by steadiness, by kindness, by a profound sense of inner calm. You have done the hard work of living, of loving, of enduring. You have built your inner strength, honed your wisdom. You have unequivocally earned your right to emotional ease and peace. You do not owe anyone your constant availability. You do not have to prove your love through perpetual discomfort or self-sacrifice. And you are never, ever solely responsible for fixing someone else's emotional weather. Love isn't guilt. Love is peace. It's unwavering trust. It's being able to breathe deeply, fully, authentically in someone's presence and still feel completely, gloriously like yourself. And if someone consistently uses guilt to prevent you from setting healthy boundaries, from speaking up for your needs, or from simply asking for what you profoundly deserve, that is not love. That is emotional control, pure and simple. Because while guilt might succeed in keeping you physically close, it will never, ever make you feel truly whole, cherished, or free. Your emotional well-being is sacred. To break free from guilt and emotional manipulation, cultivate self-awareness with guidance from Dating Older Women, your sanctuary for emotional strength. Thing number 5, never accept disregard for your health and well-being. Now, as we move into our final crucial reflection, let's talk about one of the most overlooked yet profoundly important deal breakers in any relationship, especially for women over 60. What happens when a man stops genuinely caring for your physical health and overall well-being? What kind of man truly stays close, truly shows up when you are not at your absolute best? I'm not talking about when you're dressed up, energized, and radiating cheerful optimism. I'm talking about when you're genuinely tired, when you're navigating chronic pain, when you have a moment of forgetfulness, or when your body simply needs to slow down, to rest, to heal. This is the ultimate test of genuine care. I remember my dear friend Deborah, a magnificent woman of 72. She was as sharp as ever, her mind still vibrant and keen, but she was living with the daily challenges of chronic arthritis. After moving into a new, bustling retirement community, she met a man. At first, he seemed incredibly attentive, even sweet and charming. But the more time they spent together, the clearer it became. He was only interested, only truly engaged, when she was cheerful, active, and perfectly on. The very moment she mentioned a bad flare-up of her arthritis, or needed to cancel a planned walk because of discomfort, he would sigh dismissively. He'd utter phrases like, "Don't make your health your whole personality, Deborah," or, "You just need to push through it, you're stronger than you think." Deborah, out of a desire to keep the peace and avoid that critical, dismissive tone in his voice, started hiding her discomfort, downplaying her pain. Until one fateful day, she fell during a hike, desperately trying to keep up with him, because she hadn't felt safe enough to admit that she genuinely needed a slower, more measured pace. That fall, painful as it was, became her undeniable wake-up call. Because senior romance, true, authentic love at this stage of life, isn't about pretending you're still 40. It's about finding a partner, a true companion, who genuinely honors the phase of life you are actually in, body, mind, and spirit. Your health, with all its evolving needs and challenges, is not a burden to be hidden or apologized for. It is an intrinsic, vital part of your truth, your lived experience. And any relationship that subtly or overtly makes you feel like your physical needs, your changing body, or your very real limitations are too much, too inconvenient, or too demanding, is not one built on genuine love. It is, regrettably, built on performance, on the illusion of an ideal. Real love listens. It slows down its own pace when you need to slow down. It waits without resentment, without impatience. It asks how you're truly feeling and genuinely wants to know the honest answer, without judgment or dismissal. And for women over 60, especially those courageously dealing with chronic illness, navigating the profound changes of menopause, experiencing natural fatigue, or recovering from medical procedures, this kind of unwavering support is not merely optional. It is absolutely essential for your well-being and peace of mind. Any man who audibly sighs when you say you're tired, who rolls his eyes at your doctor's appointments, who mocks your necessary dietary changes, or carelessly forgets your medication schedule, is not seeing you fully, not honoring you completely. You have spent a lifetime caring for others, nurturing, giving, and tending. Now, in this precious season, your body is gently, perhaps sometimes forcefully, asking you to care for yourself with the same devotion. And any man who truly, authentically loves you will make that self-care journey easier, not harder. Sometimes we women hide our pain, not because it's insignificant, but because we harbor a deep-seated fear that love might, just might, walk away from it. If that has ever been your experience, and you feel comfortable sharing, your story, your vulnerability, could be the gentle, powerful reminder another woman desperately needs today. You should never, ever have to choose between genuine love and your fundamental well-being. The right kind of love, the truly unconditional kind, honors both equally. And when you find that rare, precious connection, when someone meets your need for care with genuine care, your slowness with infinite patience, your vulnerabilities with unwavering gentleness, that's not just fleeting romance. That is a sacred sanctuary. Because at this magnificent stage of life, love should, above all else, feel like ease, like a soft landing. And after everything you have gracefully carried, everything you have bravely overcome, you, my dear, deserve nothing less than that profound peace. So many women over 60 have walked through unimaginable storms just to get to this beautiful season of life. You have raised families, buried beloved loved ones, courageously rebuilt yourselves after profound heartbreak. You have spent years giving, tending, nurturing, and patiently waiting for the right time to finally put yourself first. That time, my dear women, is unequivocally now. Dating after 60 isn't about settling for less than you deserve. It's about embracing your sovereignty, your undeniable right to self-governance. You are not here to shrink yourself, to diminish your light, just to keep someone else perpetually comfortable or secure. You are not here to manage someone else's unpredictable moods, to soften their verbal blows, or to explain away their consistently bad behavior with tired phrases like, "Oh, he's just from a different generation." You are here to be fully seen, to be genuinely met, to be profoundly cherished, and to be respected in every single facet of your magnificent being. And if a man, Any man cannot consistently respect your voice, your deeply held values, your precious energy, or your amazing, resilient body, then he simply does not belong in the sacred, hard-won space of your life. Every wise woman I know, every woman who has bravely rediscovered her authentic self after 60, has uttered the same profound truth in some way or another. I will never lose myself again. You, my dear, deserve a relationship that genuinely adds to your already rich and full life, not one that slowly, insidiously erodes it. You deserve a love that feels like a clear, affirming mirror, reflecting your best self back to you, not a confusing, draining maze. So, if you've recognized even one of these 5 critical signs in your own experience, take heart. You are not too old to bravely walk away from what doesn't serve you. You are not too late to begin again, to craft a new, more fulfilling narrative. And most importantly, you are absolutely not alone on this journey. And if today's video brought you even a little clarity, a surge of confidence, or a comforting sense of validation, I wholeheartedly invite you to like this video, subscribe to Dating Older Women, and stay connected with me here. This is a dedicated space for women who still feel deeply, still grow endlessly, and still shine brilliantly. Until next time, please take exquisite care of your precious spirit, and always, always remember, the right kind of love, the truly deserving kind, will never, ever cost you your peace. For more empowering content, visit Dating Older Women on YouTube and our website. Join our community of wise women for support and inspiration. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your story in the comments. Your wisdom can empower others.